miles per hour. Now, we know that this vehicle is now in Newhall. It began in Palmdale this morning, went through Canyon Country, now in Newhall, and it looks like this car is traveling on the 14 freeway, going south right now, and this is in Newhall. Again, we've seen this driver go in and out of lanes, go through the carpool lane, now in another lane. We don't know why this pursuit is happening. We're still waiting to get some information from CHP about the suspect. We don't know how many people are in the car, what they are being pursued for. These are answers we're hoping to get soon. But again, this car is going dangerously fast right now at a time where a lot of people are on the road right now. And we're just going to continue to watch. So far, I haven't seen any close calls. But again, when you're reaching speeds of up to 115 miles an hour, I mean, that's just asking for danger.
Yeah, high speed and also changing lanes, weaving in and out of traffic, really not paying much regard at all to anybody else on the roadway right now. So, yeah, the potential for an accident or a problem, yeah, very real. You could see that pass that driver made. And passing on the right, that's the other thing. Drivers can't see you passing on the right, so that makes it even worse.
Exactly. And we've learned that CHP has been in pursuit of this suspect for about 30 minutes now. Again, the details as to why they are in pursuit, unclear at this time. But we know they have been following him for 30 minutes, and this began in Palmdale.
And it's unclear how far back CHP is at this time right now. We do have a helicopter overhead, but we haven't seen a wide shot where you could see patrol vehicles in pursuit. Obviously, they have a helicopter overhead, as do we, and they're obviously keeping track of the suspect that way. There you can see their driver hitting around 100 miles an hour right now. And
it looks like they are now in Sylmar. Again, this has gone through many cities already, and they just continue to go.
And at one point, the driver appeared to be in the shoulder, not even in a lane. So really dangerous conditions on the right side, passing other drivers, making it hard for them to see. And big questions about why this pursuit's going on. It looks like there's more than one person in the vehicle from this angle. So that adds to the complexity for authorities as they're trying to bring this to a stop.
I agree. From this vantage point, it appears that we're looking at a male driver, and it does appear that there is a passenger in the car. That was a very close call there. Yeah. Dangerous to go on the slow lane right there. It looks like they're exiting right now.
Okay, yeah, it looks like they're getting off the freeway here. And boy, just blazing right into the intersection. Didn't really have time to see if anybody was coming the other way. And let's see where they end up now.
And it appears they ran that light.
Yeah, just tearing through these intersections. There's a lot of traffic on the road. It's dangerous out there. And this driver does not seem to care at all.
It's always heightened risk when these when these drivers, I should say, get onto the residential roads where there's more traffic, more pedestrians, and so you just hope for the best in these situations. But it is interesting, John, as you just noted, we have not seen any CHP cruisers since we've been watching, so I'm wondering how far back they are.
Yeah, this is just off Roxford now in the Sylmar area, I believe, where this driver is going.
And it looks like the passenger is trying to get out. I've seen a door open.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I'm wondering, again, questions that need answers. Is this passenger being forced to stay in this vehicle? Because I saw a door open just now twice, as if the passenger was trying to maybe get out of that car.
Yeah, if you're just joining us, we don't have a lot of information. We know the CHP's been pursuing this vehicle, started in the Palmdale area, down the 14. Now we're in the Sylmar area. Okay, here it looks like one of the suspects, both suspects now abandoning the vehicle. 3 people in the vehicle, it looks like, and now on the run on foot, abandoning the vehicle there in Sylmar. And you can see they're trying to make their way into a backyard, it appears.
And you wonder, do they know this area? Do they have ties to this area, or did they just get out of the car and go? Yeah, or are they familiar?
Yeah, that's always the questions. A lot of times they'll go back to an area they're familiar with, the neighborhood, and jump out on foot in that regard. We don't know a lot about what's happening here, but we do see the suspects now on foot, and authorities focusing their pursuit in those backyard neighbors. Oh, there's a dog.
There's
oh, boy.
Dog.
A big dog, too.
And you wonder if it's I can't tell if it's a police dog or not, because I haven't seen any officers on foot yet either.
Right, right.
Or if it's just a homeowner's dog in the backyard being a protective guard dog.
Yeah, that dog, you don't want to mess with the dog that size, obviously.
We have eyes on 2 suspects. We did see 3 men exit the car. Not sure where that third suspect went.
And we still haven't seen any police on the ground. So question is, yeah, there you can see a police helicopter very low looking for the suspects. We have not seen any patrol units on the ground as of yet. And we're wondering how far back that pursuit was going, you know, in terms of staying a distance to keep things from getting too dangerous. There's a police unit there, a sheriff unit or CHP patrolling in the area. The suspects believed to be, we think, in that backyard area. 3 of them, two or three.
And
we've seen.
Dog, yeah,
another dog there.
And this is happening in at the intersection, I should say, of El Dorado Avenue and Bledsoe Street. This is in Sylmar. So if you live in Sylmar, in this neighborhood, if you have family, friends there, maybe give them a call and let them know to keep their doors locked and to stay inside, because these 3 suspects are on the run. Not clear if they're armed, but I'm sure police, you know, don't want you to have any contact with them. Yeah, we don't know what they're wanted for. We don't know why they're running, but obviously it can't be a good thing and a dangerous situation for anybody in that community right now. As you can see some residents coming out to see what's going on. Be careful, stay inside, lock your doors. And obviously, if police come by, listen to what their commands are. We've seen 2 CHP cruisers go by now. I think that's the 3rd I'm seeing. I'm sure they are in conversation with their chopper to get some intel on where these suspects might be. But for now, you know, I'm sure they're kind of at a loss. Where did these guys go? Right. The last time we saw them, they were in one of those backyards. They may have moved since then. We don't know. We've seen several dogs go after them in those backyards as well. It did not appear that they were injured at all, but it certainly scared them enough to make them continue moving on into another yard. So we think they're in that backyard area of one of those homes right in the middle of that block. And authorities, I would think they're going to need more police in the area if they're going to really conduct a thorough search of this area. Yeah. And again, it depends on what they're wanted for as well. We're seeing more officers on the ground. I imagine that they might secure this neighborhood, this street at least, while they look for those suspects, because, you know, normally with these pursuits, it's only a matter of time. And I imagine it won't be too long before they're able to catch these guys. But for now, we've lost sight of where these 3 suspects have gone. Yeah, and the real danger now is if they get inside one of these homes and they threaten somebody, a resident, and get into a hostage situation. That is a big concern for authorities as well as they try and track these suspects down. But they've kind of disappeared from our view in the last 5 minutes or so. And we still haven't seen any officers out of the cruisers, out of their patrol vehicles. So it will be interesting to see if we start to see their presence, you know, as they walk through these yards and maybe go door to door trying to find these suspects. We have seen the helicopter, and it does appear to be very low, and it looks like it's looking for them. They don't have a pinpointed location, it appears, as to where they might be in that backyard area of one of those homes. It's, you know, obviously a lot of vegetation. There's a lot of cover from the air that they can hide under. So that certainly complicates things. And it looks like more patrol units now moving their way into that area. I would think at some point they're going to bring in sheriffs and maybe some LAPD to help out, because it's a big area they're trying to cover here. Just checking in with our producer, Lauren, right now. Have we gotten any more information from our news desk? Okay, so we still have a lot of details we're working to get. Who these people may be, why police are pursuing them, what they're accused of being involved in. Yeah, and you do see a lot of neighbors and residents kind of coming outside of their homes, looking around. Be careful, folks. This is El Dorado Avenue and Bledsoe Street in Sylmar. It's probably best if you stay indoors, probably best if you lock your doors, because we don't know who these people are. We don't know why police were chasing them, but there were 3 men, it appeared, fleeing and hopping from backyard to backyard. There's that black dog that chased them out of one yard. Wanted for speeding initially is the call we're getting from our producer Lauren right now. So, and they were traveling at a really high rate of speed at one point, over 100 miles an hour through traffic. They've shown very little regard for other motorists on the road. So that's obviously a factor in terms of how dangerous they are as well. But right now, all we know is initially this started in the Palmdale area
where those suspects were wanted for speeding.
Yeah, about 30 minutes ago, maybe 40 minutes ago, give or take, just before 9 this morning, as you said, started in Palmdale. We saw them reach speeds of at least 115 miles per hour. I'd have to imagine that the police are going to be more frustrated that they took them on the pursuit than the initial speeding charge or stop, I should say. But
yeah, safe to say they're facing a number of other charges
Yes.
now besides just speeding. Obviously, resisting arrest comes into play and other factors like that.
Possibly breaking and entering. We don't know if they have now broken into some of these residences in this neighborhood of Sylmar as they continue to flee police.
From our vantage point of the helicopter, it looks like they're probably still in the backyard of one of these 3 or 4 homes in this area. We can't say for sure, but we haven't seen them leave that area. So I think that's probably where authorities should be focusing. Here I can see looks like some police ground units. There's an officer on the ground, 2 of them.
It's comforting that we've only seen one resident walk out of her home. Other than that, I'm not really seeing any residents, pedestrians on the street, no kids on the street, which is good to see. We hope, if you have anyone, if you know anyone who lives in this neighborhood, please tell them to stay inside and lock their doors and close their windows for now as police continue this investigation to find those 3 men who are at large.
And if you do see the suspects in, per se, your yard or a neighbor's yard, maybe pick up the phone, call 911 and let authorities know, hey, they're back here. Do it without obviously going outside if you can, but that would certainly be helpful for authorities because it's kind of a big area they're trying to track these guys down in.
And just so you can see video of these suspects, this happened moments ago, right before they got out of that vehicle and went into the neighborhood. And we're going to show you the second that they get out of the car so you have some idea of who to be on the lookout for there. The driver, tattoos on at least one of his arms, wearing it looks like a gray tank top. And 2 other suspects as well.
And it looks like they split up. 2 of them did stay together, but one, it looked like, did split off from the other 2. So there may be 2 different locations that authorities need to focus on. That's another complicating factor they have to deal with. And here's where the dog went after them. And I don't think they were injured. It looks like the dog almost wanted to play more than anything else. But certainly that probably scared them quite a bit to see a large black dog like that coming after you.
Yeah, I'm sure. At that moment, I was wondering if that was a canine officer.
Right.
But it appears that it was just a dog in someone's yard. We continue to follow, though, as we saw moments ago, police, more officers on the scene out of their patrol units, surveying the area. You see them walking there. Yeah,
CHP and maybe some sheriff's deputies or LAPD joining them as well. Looking for the suspects, and they've got the long rifles out too, so this is serious business they're dealing with. And there is that helicopter hovering overhead. Again, it doesn't look like that helicopter's focusing on one specific area, which would indicate they're having trouble tracking these guys down. The last time we saw them, they were in one of these backyards, hopping from fence to fence, and you can see all that vegetation there again. So they could be hiding under the trees. They could have broken into a home. We don't know. And I don't know if authorities know either. So that's the big complicating factor. Of course, you've got residents in this community, too. You got to worry about their safety. So a whole bunch of stuff that police have to deal with as they try and track these 3 people down.
Yeah, a lot of school districts still haven't returned yet. So you think about the safety of children who might be outside. And we don't know much about these men. We're working to get more details about them. But it is a bit suspicious, wanted for speeding. Obviously did not pull over for officers, so you wonder if they were afraid they might be charged with something else. We really don't know.
Yeah, we are going to continue to follow this story for you throughout the morning as authorities try and track these suspects down. We'll have updates, of course, on the streaming app, also our Facebook page, social media page as well, and abc7.com. But for now, at least, we are going to now return you to our normal programming, our normal streaming programming. And again, we will have updates for you on this situation throughout the day.